babes, it's Brianna B, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Y'all, I'm so excited to be on YouTube. I get to just go more in depth with a lot of the things that I talk to you all about. And today we're going to go over just a couple of things that I have learned myself over the years, whether it's in a relationship, whether it's business, or whether it's just life in general, okay? So I'm going to go over some things that I wrote in my notes on my last flight. Typically when I'm on a plane ride, I just start, jotting down a lot of things that I think about. And I typically do that when I'm traveling. So again, don't mind my phone, but this is some things I wanted to share with you guys. So if you have a notepad, make sure you take it out, take some notes, okay? Also, if you have an iPhone, Android, utilize your notes section in your phone. I do that a lot. So anytime my brain starts working, I want to jot something down, I put it in my notes. I even have a note section in my phone and it's titled quotes. So I will hear a quote, I read a quote, I come up with a quote, and I put it in my phone so that I can always refer to it later on. And then I'd like to share with you all as well, because you never know when it may be able to help you in whatever stage you're in your life, okay? So let's get into it. All right, number one, this is for my ladies, okay? When women don't care, that is when men care the most. Just plain and simple. You ever notice when you have broken up with an ex and all of a sudden, the very moment you get them out of your system, they come running on back and you get that text, right? And you're like, nope, right? Well, what happens is you have pretty much brought in all of your energy back to you, okay? Because you no longer are attached. But the moment that you literally attach to them, you ever notice, okay, it's like nothing is happening, right? You feel like you are the one that's diving in, but no one's coming to save you. Well, that's the reason behind it. It's because the moment that you detach from that person or thing, all of a sudden you bring back your energy. And now all of your aura is starting to literally go around, okay? And all of a sudden, you start to hear from that long lost ex. You start to hear from that long lost friend. And that's because you now have the energy. So practice being in your own energy. And that's at all times. And how you do that is simply by the art of detachment. And I talked about that a little bit in my last video. And simply all that means is whatever you are a part of, just always stay detached. And I don't mean not being human. I know we are human. You can still have your emotions, etc., but you need to know how to control them. And what I mean by the art of detachment means that if something doesn't work out, guess what? You don't fall apart. If something doesn't go as planned, okay, it just didn't go as planned, because mentally you already know that God has something better for your life, okay? That's number one. So again, I try to always tell ladies, hey, the moment you stop caring, that's when he will care. Keep that in your mind at all times. The second thing I wanted to share with you guys is always influence the room, okay? Never adapt to it. This is my life motto. I don't care where I am or whose room I'm walking into. I always make sure I influence it. And that is by what I have on. That is by my aura, okay? And that's also by what I do amongst the individuals in the room. So for example, if I'm walking in a room and let's say it's a business function and I'm amongst other colleagues, well, number one, I'm going to have a very polished look. And what I mean by polish is always, ladies, keep your hair and your nails done at all times. And when it comes to your attire, I always try to make sure I'm wearing a solid fit, and that means solid in color. I try to stay away from the prints and the patterns, any type of solid color. It just gives you a polished look, right? You look clean, you look crisp, and that's what you want to give. So again, I typically wear just a solid color. My hair is done, my nails is done, and also making sure if you do wear makeup, it's just a clean look. You don't have to overdo it. So that way, when you walk in the room, first off, you are looked at Number one, people judge you by what they see. Your appearance is the first impression that someone is going to get when they see you, okay? So make sure you look your best at all times. The second thing is what comes out of your mouth. You want to make sure that if you are not somebody who probably has the most expandable vocabulary, work on your vocabulary. You can do that by reading books. You can do that by reading the dictionary. There's no shame in that. When I was in school, in college, by the way, I actually used to study the dictionary because a lot of the rooms that I was in, the people were a lot smarter, right? You know, they had degrees and they had parents that came from money. And so I had to learn how to look and talk the part. And so I started studying and researching. And that's what I recommend you doing. Expand your vocabulary. Also, you can practice learning another language. That's one of the things that I did because it just puts you in a different category. So people are always going to judge you by what comes out of your mouth, second to how you look. So you need to be able to host a conversation with anyone in that room. I don't care if you're not a scientist. I don't care if you're not a doctor. I don't care if you're not an engineer or whatever, or whoever is in the room. You need to be able to hold a solid or standard conversation. So again, make sure you work on expanding your vocabulary, okay? That is very critical when it comes to climbing the ladder to success, okay? You have to be able to talk the part with any individual, and you don't have to have a degree to do that. You don't have to be in their industry to do that. I can walk up to anybody and they can walk up to me and I can have a solid conversation with them, whether it's about politics, whether it's about a specific industry they're in. I always can find something to form a connection. One of the things I would suggest to write this down, this is very key. When you're meeting someone of influence, let's say, you may be a little intimidated because of who they are. One thing that I always do if I'm having a conversation with them is I ask one thing, and that is, hey, so what actually motivated you to get into this industry of yours? Because then it opens up the door for them to talk about their personal life, and that's going to forge a connection between the two of you. So, for example, some people go right into, well, my childhood or my mom or my dad used to do this and it led me here, right? And another question I ask, this is where it really opens that door for them to start building a bond with me. This one is my secret, but I'm going to give it to you anyway, okay? Because I love y'all. All right, so here it is. What you ask is one simple thing, and that is, well, can you tell me, how do you stay so motivated and calm? Like when I see you, it's like your demeanor is just like you have it all put together. I'm trying to learn from you. And from there, that's when they go into this mode of talking about themselves. One of the things that people love to do is talk about themselves. So anytime you're in a room or setting, always listen more and talk less, okay? That is very key because you're in the room to observe, you're in the room to network. So again, allow people to talk about themselves and be intrigued, jot something down, learn from it. And that way you can build a connection because they're going to remember you out of everyone in that room because you're not trying to compete with them. And last but not least, I want this to be a gentle reminder for anybody who needs to hear this. Maybe you're struggling in life. Maybe that relationship didn't work for you. Maybe that job didn't work for you. Maybe the business is not doing well. Please remember to always trust God's timing, right? So although in the moment it may not seem like everything is working out for your greater good, but understand that it is. Because whatever you're going through right now is only for development. It's not for punishment, okay? So in that moment where you feel like just giving up on life, giving up on everything, that's the moment where you dig deep and you hold on just a little while longer because God is looking just for you to show that you have faith in Him because it's on the other side of that. It's on tomorrow. Just because you made it through another day where He comes through and He shows you that He got you, okay? So hold on just a little while longer. He has better for you. Always trust His timing. All right. I love you guys. I hope this helped someone. Leave a comment below if it did. Also, comment any topics that you would like for me to cover. Again, I'm so excited to be on YouTube. I just feel like I'm building a deeper and closer connection with you guys. So make sure you subscribe, like, and comment. And I'll see you guys soon. Mwah.